Hey, welcome to Red Pill Diaries. It's Craig. Just taking my wee man to a chiropractor and an osteopath and all these things. He's getting really, really old. But anyway, I wanted to say I'm in the border of Italy at the moment, and I'm trying out a new gimbal thing that I've got in my hand. It seems pretty cool. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, what I wanted to speak about today was weaponized stupid, first of all. And it's something I think we've all been seeing for a long time. My brother Michael and I, particularly when I was a kid, we were seeing through the bullshit of actually another friend of mine, David Butler in New Zealand, one of the earlier people who saw this when I was about 17, who spoke of this. Him and his brother had also noticed the same stuff as me and my brother about the system and how it's all the installation of political correctness and social engineering we were seeing from a very young age. Not to say that we were geniuses for seeing it, because it was quite obvious in New Zealand what they were doing, right? And now they definitely are weaponizing stupid against the rest of us. And what I mean by that is, on let's say the dichotomies that we have all over the world. I speak about this quite a bit. The polarization that the system produces through its media to drag people apart, and once it's dragged them apart, then take that subset. So American politics is always a fantastic way of looking at this. So American politics, you've got your people on the Republican side, you've got your Trumps and you've got your never Trumps on that one side, and you've got your never Hillarys and your never Bernies on the other side. So, and then even within that Bernie camp, you've got your progressive people who aren't doing anything to change the country, because why? They got caught out by people like Jimmy Dore, who forced their hand to expose the fact that they don't actually want the things they say they want, such as minimum wage, having a price hike, or things that were actually meaningless at the end of the day, because New Zealand has proven that if you put minimum wage up, all you do is you increase the prices of all the things that are for sale, so it doesn't make any difference. But these are, and something I wanted to speak about, which Matt from Quantum of Conscience, one of his best episodes, and I do need to link it on here, it's just a recent episode, and he was pointing out some of the things. Again, we seem to have this topics come up around the same time. I've been meaning to do this video for the last 3 weeks, and I haven't done any videos. I've just been so busy with work, not jobs, but work. And he was talking about how life has this habit of just giving you stuff to do to waste your time. Ever notice how whenever you come into money, you come into a windfall, something happens to fuck it up? Whenever you've got something that's a pursuit in life, let's take me, for example, with the Scottish independence. It's always just within reach. I'm looking at the both camps in Scotland, and I'm the people who are for independence, which, like myself, a normal human being, because it makes sense to be independent, and the people who are against independence, which doesn't make any sense because you're subservient to the voters of another country. You are having the unelected politicians of a foreign country dictate what happens in your country. There's no good way to look at it. To say that we're part of this glorious union, you can't even... Only a fool gets roped in by the nostalgia factors. Nostalgia, patriotism, these things being some of the many tools they use to program people to be these useful idiots. And these useful idiots are being weaponized as we speak, have always been weaponized. But, you look back at the days of where they had... Look at that beautiful mountains back here. So you look back at... let's say the days where they were burning witches, right? That was weaponized mob mentality that was basically saying, burn her. And people, for the most part, haven't changed, because in social media, when you have these people mostly on the left who want to shut people mostly on the right down, but not... It's not even right-wingers they're trying to shut down. They're trying to shut down anyone who has rational thought. And a lot of these rightards would like to think, oh yes, they're just shutting down conservatives. It's not that at all. They're shutting down anyone who's a good human being. They're shutting down anyone who's logical enough to see through the bullshit for what it is. So expect more, and expect Look, I'm just hating being around mainstream society at the moment. The more and more I think about it, the more I want to get away from it. Luckily, I'm at a stage I can actually do that in my life. I decided to change my life drastically. I already got a lot of my family out of my life, for example. I had 2 family members remaining in my life. And recently, just one cannot stop being negative, just cannot stop insulting me and just being horrible. I'm walking on eggshells, like, oh, is he going to trip off again? He does it again, starts being horrible. I just thought, I just don't need this shit in my life. I help him a lot more than he doesn't help me, but I help him a lot, just like all my family. And I decided, let's get the last 2 of them out of my life. Life's already going better. Boom. And I've become totally financially free and just in another 2 years since cutting most of my family out of my life. That can't be an accident. What this is the things I've spoken about quite a lot, where it's like harpoons all over your body, like your Gulliver, the giant in Gulliver's Travels, and everyone's trying to rope him down. It's that you've got these things that attach to you. Most of it comes from the system, the tax department, or the whatever it is department wants you to fill in some stupid little paperwork. They've always got something for you to fill in, or that you need to come back for this, or you can't leave because you've got to go to do jury duty, whatever the fuck. I've been told to do jury duty in how many countries now? And it's like, oh God, that's why I shouldn't have gone for my citizenship and wherever I was, Britain or I don't know, America and wherever else, you know what I mean? Eventually they ask you to do this thing to serve the system. And what is that legal system? That legal system is a series of snares to hold down good people. It occasionally locks up true psychopaths, but most of them are still walking free and have got jobs in the banking sector as CEOs of major corporations. So it doesn't really lock up the real psychopaths who are really fucking up the world. So it wants you to take part, to have a hand in it, like these entry kind of, what do you call them, initiation ceremonies they have for things like the Skull and Bone Society and all these things. You have to fuck a pig or something, so they've all got something on each other, all the legion of kiddie fuckers that they are, right? Same kind of thing. They want you to be part of this system, so you've taken part of this evil. I'm fully checking out of this system now. That's me now on the final thing. So I gave up. I've got some friends in the UK. I was helping out build their company. It's going really well. I think it's time to step away now. I don't need to do it. My other mate just gave up his career as well. We both of us, just because crypto's allowed us to. So it's like, what am I doing? Why am I fucking around with this old life? And look, I understand most people who might come across this video, you won't be in the same circumstance. But I'll tell you right now, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been stepping away from the system, and every time I step away from the system, life goes bloody well. And even if it doesn't go swimmingly well in a financial respect, it goes well in a soul respect. And all I want to do is build up some soul tokens now and just live life the best way. The way life can be, if you just decide it can be. When you decide not to be constrained by all these, I don't know, they're not pleasantries. It's like the responsibilities that you've decided that you have to have. Just cut them all off. And people that you want to help out, it's like, hang on, but what have they done to help me? Nothing is usually the answer, is nothing. I can't even, let me tell you this, right? I can't even get my mother, who I was about to pay 20 grand off this scumbag who's trying to worm out her money. I'm going to get it back eventually, but I'm not going to let it consume my thoughts. I'm not going to let it change. Again, the system throwing in, I don't know how the system works, but I'm guessing on a kind of spiritual level or something along those lines. It's like people are Agent Smiths. They get called in to hold your life back, like my father did a couple of years ago when he completely screwed up a massive deal for me, which now has cost me around about oh, it's disgusting to think, at least $6 million. It's disgusting. That's my own dad, right? My mum doesn't really care about my life. She cares about herself. She says stupid things like, oh, I'm going to leave this in my will. I don't want anything from her will. Oh, she's saying this like a dangling carrot because of the things I've done for her and because she wants more, because she wants to get a dental operation. So here's me, a numbskull idiot, about to pay her 20 grand again. And all I ask for is one little piece of tiny fraction of help. Can you call a friend to pick up money off this person? Oh, but her husband died last. I could get this person. Oh, but her husband... Any excuse not to help. And that's when I thought, you know what? Again, here we are for the 400th time for my mother. I cannot even get her to help me help her. Because in the end of this, there's nothing in it for me. And I thought, you know what? Let's just walk away from that money that person owes me, and I'll get him in time. I'll sort him out in time. But for the meantime, I'm not going to let it distract me from the pursuits because I've done this before. You in life throws these curveballs and you focus on solving them, and what you end up finding out, damn it, for that $500 I tried to chase that guy for, that made me miss out on this experience of a lifetime over here, this situation to create a new income for myself, or this situation to give me a windfall over here. I missed out on all of those because I was chasing after this little bitch who's stolen from me. Just don't let it get to you like that, you know. But at the same time, like the Gulliver's Travels, wiping all those ropes away that are holding them down, you've got to get rid of this baggage that the system gives you, and start taking the direction where instead of living in the existence in the town, whatever it is, something that doesn't make you happy, get the fuck out. Use your feet. If you're completely poor, you got nothing, just walk. Get the fuck out of that situation, right? And you'll find your life starts to go a lot better. I know this from the past. I'm going to start doing it again. And yeah, I'm going to start learning how to use this gimbal thing properly. But yeah, so that's one part of it. You know, I've been brutal in the last 2 years getting people out of my life, and I'm just feeling happier, richer, just more at ease, and I can see the light ahead as far as not success wise. I'm doing pretty well now, I have to say. And that's because of what I've put in, but it's also of who I've cut out. These parasitic entities out of my life, many of whom were family, and just being harsh to people. No, I can't help. Because especially for an empath, it's really hard to turn down when people request help from you. But the simple fact is, there's a reason why there's cliches that exist, like no good deed goes unpunished. The one that I continue to tell myself over and over again. No good deed goes unpunished. Why could that be? That you would get punished for a good deed? Well, maybe because in life we need to work out our own shit. And when you're coming in here and solving someone's problems for them, doing the job for them, there's obviously, if you have helpless people who can't do anything, different story. But when people are actually got 2 arms and 2 legs but act like they're all broken, there's a reason you're being punished for helping them, because you're allowing them to sidestep life, and they're not getting their just desserts. They're getting the fruits of your labor, not the fruits of their own. And this is why you end up getting punished for doing good deeds. So be very, very sparing with your assistance, your help, your love, your, I'll say your love as well. I mean, basically be nice to everyone, but you give too much to the world will just drain you, and then you'll have nothing left to give. So you have to be selective. And this will be how you build up your soul tokens, I'm pretty sure. So, let life go better for you. I'm not saying be a complete selfish bastard. I'm just saying be very, very selective with who you give help to, because in most cases, the bastards don't deserve it. Not one little bit. And I know this to be true in the case of my family, because I sit there and I think, what have any of them actually done for me? And the answer is next to nothing. I wish it was more. And by the way, I'm being very fair when I say next to nothing. And especially in the context of what I've done for them, all of them, next to nothing. When I'm in a bind, I was living in my car, 2012, for example, and my brother had the same thing recently. Not about living in a car. He was down in his luck. Speak to my father, speak to my mother, both the same kind of thing. So what are you doing right now? Oh, shopping for stories. All right, well, this and that. Oh, well, that's okay then. At least you're doing okay. What? Said my brother. I'm in minus 25 degrees Celsius. I've got no money to buy anything. He was telling me the story in jest. And I've had the same stuff happen in my life, of course, with the same kind of answers. And also chopping me off at the knees. People who you've helped out, who them helping you out would actually facilitate you to help them more, and yet they still won't do it. So stop focusing on them. Take your focus completely off them and let them live their own shitty lives, because that's what they deserve to be. All right. And you get the people, oh, she gave life to you. No, there's a limit. Parents have you didn't ask to be taken into this world. But I'll tell you one thing, my biggest only regret, if any, is not about what I could have done. I could have bought Bitcoin early. I could have got into the property market sooner. I could have, I don't know, spoke to that girl in high school or whatever it might have been. No, my bigger regret is actually when I kind of emancipated myself in Johannesburg when I was 15 and had a fight with my dad and left home. I should have stuck to that and never spoke to him or any of my family again. I hadn't spoken to my mum for years. She didn't bother coming out to South Africa to bother fighting a court case. Not to say these are... That doesn't get to me. It's water off a duck's back. What I'm saying is my empathy and my character as a person always made me see the good in people even when it wasn't there. And I have come to realize what a steaming pile of dog shit my entire family is. And I just happened to be born into that family. There's nothing necessarily good about them. They're all extremely selfish beings who do nothing for anyone else. Or very limited things outside of, let's say, people talk about, oh, I'm selfless, I have kids. No, that's an extension of selfishness because you're not helping someone else's kids. You didn't go like my mate tried to do and get adopt a child by himself. He's like, oh, I don't need a crazy wife to do this. I'm going to do it by myself now. The system won't let you because you're a dude. But anyway, it's the will to help someone that's not of your own. The will to just help some random person. That's what good people have. And if I really, really look at the situation in my family, my oldest brother Scott is a complete tit. He does help a lot of people, but he's got so many other personality issues that he'll never work on, and his judgmental nature, and like commonality in my family, psychologically abusive nature. Well, work on your shit before you feel that you have the right or the worthiness to be in someone's life like myself. Yeah, I'm going to say that. People should be worthy to be in your life. You decide what the standard is. And I'm deciding now that the standard's pretty fucking high. I'm just sick of having assholes around me in life. Sick of having scumbags ripping me off when life could be a lot further ahead and I could have just had the easy street if it didn't help certain people. So I'm not going to be shamed or guilt-tripped into helping people from now on. I will look at a situation very, very closely, and even then I'll make them buy into it. Like, if I'm going to help you, you need to do X, Y, Z first. As my other friend Ahmet said recently, when another friend... I tried to help fix a friend's car. Well, actually, we did fix it. We fixed the problem that it had, which was a crank seal, right? This guy couldn't get his 2 mechanics to do it, but he was happy to pay them $3,000. My mate said, yeah, I'll do it for nothing because he's a friend of mine. And then doesn't cook him food, doesn't do anything from the whole 3 days. And then he starts whinging because we put everything back together and the car wouldn't start. Well, we still got it started using a spray, like a ether spray. So that means that the car actually works. It means the fuel system. We didn't touch the fuel system. Take it back to your shitty mechanics, the ones that you keep on talking about as if they're great, even though they left your car in pieces, 2 of them, and they couldn't fix a problem until you get a new engine when we fixed it. I know super engines can be a bit of a pain in the ass to work on. We both know what we're doing, especially him. You've done 90% of the job and this piece of shit won't let it be finished because he just wants to moan. He just wants to be unhappy. So fuck him. He's out of my life too now. He's my closest friend over here. Now he's out of my life. Sick of his negative shit. Solid year now he's been a negative fuckwit. And then not just that, I'm just looking at something about his character and they just suck. So, yep, you had your chance. You were in my life for a short while. It did well for you. And did well for me in some ways. He actually did help me some areas. Lazy bastard, but did actually help me in some things that he's good at doing, like translating, whatever, because he speaks languages. But other than that, no, you're a selfish cunt. You didn't say thanks. We spent 3 days working your bloody car, and we've got better things to do than that. My friend comes to visit me for 3 weeks, and he's spending time that I could have been taking him around these mountains over here. You know what I mean? So yeah, be brutal. Get these fuckers out your life. the stupid is being weaponized every day. You need to think. I believe it's up to you to think of a plan to unhinge yourself from this parasitic system that is parasitic in so many ways. And if you don't conform to this parasitic system, whatever it be, every country's got its own. You must conform to this standard bullshit going on now. This virtue signaling crap that goes on as well. You owe it to yourself to find ways, and every budget, every wealth level has a solution. Whether it be jumping on a bicycle, like my friend did when he left London, jumped on a bicycle and cycled to Slovakia and Poland and everything. Whether it's that, or whether you buy a van, or whether you deck out a bus like I did the other year, or whether you buy a yacht like I'm planning to do now, because that's my next thing, is just to get on the ocean and get the fuck away from humanity, because I cannot stand. I'd say 90% of people in this world, when you get to know them, they're pricks. Oh, they're just strangers you don't know yet. No. Most people are fucking assholes. They don't deserve you to know them. They don't deserve you to help them. And the sooner you learn that, the sooner you'll stop basically suckering yourself. That's about it, really. The system's definitely designed to ensnare you in many different ways, and it's also designed to create constant division and almost weaponize people into armies of stupidity, following narratives fed to them by some powers that be. That is a thing. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's an instinct. It's a knowledge by instinct, but it's knowledge by instinct and experience. And if you look at situations and you deduce such situations, oh, you're not a scientist. Well, everyone's a scientist. If you decide to look and measure reactions, if you decide to look and measure whether it be you measure a situation, a reaction, an event, and do some analysis on it, and base your analysis on the reality of that event, you're a scientist. You know what I mean? So I'm a scientist. We all are. I haven't got the little paper telling me I am one, but then again, neither does Dr. Fauci in certain aspects of medicine, and neither does Bill Gates in any field of medicine. So just remember that you are what you want yourself to be. This whole system that we have is third wave slavery, and that is where the system tells you what to be. You're going to be this, you're meant to speak in a way that says, my father did this, and I'm a butcher, and my father was a butcher. This is slave mentality, and you got to not think like that, because you can go through life being a shipbuilder, a carpenter, a potter, all these sort of things. You can do all these things in one and not be pigeonholed into any one of them, because that's what free human beings do. We've been taken away from the pursuits that a normal human being would have had, and especially now we've got more knowledge around us. We have the ability to be more things than we've ever been in the past. Yet you can look at these polymaths in the past who have been good at multiple things. Like Leonardo da Vinci, probably the most famous one. And you can be this. You might not be at his level, but you can be an extremely good potter. My friend of mine who's a chef in New Zealand started making all these tables, doing really nice carpentry work, right? He's growing mushrooms, this is what you can do. You can just change what you were doing and not pigeonhole yourself. All right, I need to get into the doctor now to get my dog seen to get his acupuncture done. So I'm gonna love you and leave you. See you later. Bye.